I don't have time for this bullshit.
Ha! Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. All this guy ever does is BS. Anyway, it's time for another edition of BSing with Big Nate.
My story is now coming to an end. I've been beaten and broken, but will never bend. I'm still tired of fighting, too tired to walk. There has to be another way out. This way, I know I can't take it anymore. There needs to be another way, another way. I fought this battle alone forever. When I needed the most, no one ever showed. The flames are getting higher, the city's falling. My anger is growing. I'll let the groove shine around me with every step I take. Looking up at the sky, praying that the storm will break. Each fall fills my lungs, spilling venom in me with such a violent tone. When the winds come crashing down and suck me away, I hope that I don't drown. No, not today. I'm departed, left it all behind, in search for a sign, for a place to belong. You will find salvation in the evergreens, far from machines. You will climb the branches from the trees. There is more to see. Break through the clouds. There's more to say, there's more to love in this beautiful world. Soar with the birds, screaming these three words: I am free. Feel the sun on my face, washing away every shadow that's left in me.
As this chapter closes, a new story begins.
I put my pen on this paper to say I never thought I'd be the one to be given a chance to finally be someone. I'm the man that I'm meant to be. No more rain clouds suffering over me. You will find salvation in the evergreens, far from machines. You will climb the branches from the trees. There is more to see. More to say. Soar with the birds, screaming these three words: I am free.
Welcome in to another BSing with Big Nate. That was As Within, So Without, with Salvation. Of course, I talked to them, the two singles that preceded this, and now we finally got a full album, so it seemed like it was high time to have him back on and talk about everything. So I'm joined today by Mitchell. Thank you for coming on.
I'm glad to be here, bud.
So I'm really glad this album's out. Like I had told you in the past conversations we had, is it feels like there's like a lot of catharsis and a lot of release that comes out of your guys' music, and I think that holds true with both the title track and the music video, and now the album finally being here. So I kind of wanted to talk about all that, and I think a good place to start is with the title track itself, because it's kind of what we let off with. To me, it felt like closure. Would you say that's kind of an accurate representation of the track?
100%. Yeah. That track pretty much encompassed the feeling of getting through all that hardship, and then towards the end, finding that salvation, finding that like belonging and end of pretty much like the tragedy of the story. It's like finding that peace.
Yeah, and I think it kind of is really well exemplified by the video. Could just be me and the way my brain operates, but first and foremost, you guys shot that in the summer, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah. It was like
Yeah, because
degrees outside.
yeah, it's just, to me, it kind of harkens back to those moments when I was a kid, and kind of the sun goes down late and you're just randomly exploring. You guys are in, I mean, I don't know exactly where you're at, but from the way the video is shot, it looks like all of the performance shots are in this kind of like remote, like wooded area that you'd find when you were a kid and go explore and adventure. And that's just kind of what stuck out to me.
Oh, I can tell you the story about that music video. That was literally the most stressful, like crazy music video I've ever had to put together. So no, but what was really cool about that place is it was in a like public park, but in this public park in Connecticut, way back, there's this just remote area of like hiking trails and bird conservatories and stuff like that. So it had like, I saw it on the internet literally, and I was like, this is a really cool place to film this more like on your own style of music video, where there's like these really cool pathways where you can shoot in front of it, and makes it like a really like symmetrical feel. And like it kind of just really got the point across. And we also like happened to find that big tree, because that wasn't in the photos. We just happened to get there and see it and go, we're shooting in front of that.
No, I think the final product came out really well. Where was the water shot shot?
That was actually shot, and I believe so we worked with Ian Urquhart, and he's like really good videographer, and he lives, I believe, up in New Hampshire, and he filmed those at a beach up there. I believe that's where he's from. So it was he did that on a separate day, and those shots came out so because we just pretty much told him, this is kind of what we want. Can you try and do it? He said, no worries, and then like came back to us like a week later and said, here you go.
No, I mean, well, hell, I mean, it came out so good. I'm so thoroughly impressed with kind of everything you guys have done at this point. Now the album's finally here. How do you feel?
Oh man, I remember the night this album came out, all four of us were up at like 2:00 in the morning talking about it, and it was like this big like anticipation of like we didn't know how it was gonna immediately like go, like so we ended up all waiting for it to come on Spotify or iTunes, and we all just listened straight through it, and the immediate reaction was like that big relief of that, like, oh my god, it's finally out, I can stop stressing about it. And even like the first week of the release being out, we got it was like a little, like maybe like 20 or 30,000 under 300,000 in the first week. So the amount of like listens that we got in that first week was insane to us, because we didn't think we were gonna break like 100,000 if that. So it was really cool to us to see that. And then once we're on, I think we're about to go into third week of release, and it's still just like that overwhelming feeling of like, oh my god, this album is doing like everything we wanted it to do. Like this is like our like masterpiece right now, and people are like coming to us and say like, oh, this isn't like amazing, this. And then it really showed like all the emotion that we put into it, and because a lot of the stories are in each song are like personal to each one of us. So just like having like that feedback of like people are enjoying it, people are feeling it as like how we were writing it. So it's just that really, really nice feeling of it is out, people are actually like loving it. And it's that huge, just like that high, I guess you said, that like post-release high.
So you touched on a couple of things there. I want to start with, kind of waiting for it to drop. I remember before digital downloads were a thing, there was still the availability to pre-order an album and it got shipped to your house and you were waiting on it. But I also remember like those early days when digital downloads were a thing, you'd pre-order the CD and it would come with the digital copy. So you'd sit there and wait and wait and wait. And then sometimes it wouldn't drop till like 3 a.m. and it's like, well, now I've got to stay up and listen to this. So I had wondered if it was the same from a band's perspective. So I'm really glad you kind of gave that little insight there. I think the reason it's doing so well is you guys were A, very, very sincere with it. B, all of the songs are incredibly well written, but C, most of all, it kind of comes at a point where we're all very much so in this weird mindset where like, and I mean, obviously the stories are personal to you, but art is through the eyes of the interpreter. And it there's something there that everyone can relate to, just given everything we've gone through over the past few years.
And I can say that was like an idea that we had with writing these certain lyrics, where my biggest approach was not making it like a one set story. I didn't want it to be my story. I wanted to be the topic so that what I'm singing or screaming in the song, someone else who is going through the same thing or has gone through the same thing can put themselves into the story and find that same closure or find that same understanding that I had or that my brother had when we were writing the lyrics to the songs.
So I'm going to ask you the question that I'm sure everyone asks, and I feel like it's unfair, but I also selfishly want to know, what's next? Are you guys working on something? Are we planning a tour? What's going on?
So we do have some unannounced touring and stuff like that in the works right now. We're just working with a new booking manager and stuff like that. So we're still like, roughing out the edges, but we have gotten a couple things that we're excited for. I'm excited for the summer mostly because we have a tour that's going out during my birthday. I'll be able to party on tour, which I'm excited for. But no, and then for music wise, we never stopped writing. Even once the album was done, we already had like 3 more songs done. At this point, we're like halfway through writing another album, and then it's gonna keep going. The writing keeps going.
See, I knew that was going to be your answer. It's one of those, like, it's kind of like a roller coaster. It seems like you get to the top, you go down the hill, and then it's like, all right, well, where's the next hill? Or hit me with that loop.
Yeah. Well, we have, as a band, especially because we all come from different like backgrounds of music, we all take like a little bit of a different approach. So like Lucas, he plays every single instrument and can also sing and scream. So he's in his studio writing almost every single day of his life. And then Matt is an amazing guitarist and is what I call him the thrash god, because the way he plays and his just feel and emotion, that how he writes just comes across so aggressive and like speed demon. And then my brother is just constantly writing lyrics. I'm constantly writing lyrics. I just started writing 2 songs yesterday for the band, so it's all coming together. We all take a different approach. It's all different emotion, and at the end of the day, we all like say like, hey, this is what I just did, and we get together and say, all right, we're taking that one, you could keep this one.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I'm very excited for you guys. Of course, if you haven't already, if you're out there watching, give As Within So Without some love on social media, and definitely check out Salvation. It's out now. It is, I'm going to say right now, we're still early in the year, but it's a strong candidate for album of 2022. Mitchell, thank you so much for joining me, and let's get you on to talk some touring announcements a little later on down the line.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to be here for it.
Thanks, Mitchell.
All right, take care.